Hello, everybody. Joe here. So I normally put out video. I put out videos on Tuesdays, and I usually do Tiny Tidy Tuesday, which is hosted by Sunday Dawn from the Helpful Home. On Fridays, I do the first Friday of every month. I do 10 Minutes Better with Melinda from Melinda Plain and Simple, which is also a collab. And if my stamina is not great, then I will do a sit down and chat video. And throughout all this, I talk about minimalism and my health, and I just try to be raw and real and honest. And it's just, so if you're new and you don't know, or maybe you've been following me for a little bit and you haven't watched previous videos explaining this, I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is considered a rare condition, and it's basically a problem with your connective tissue, and you dislocate easily and subluxate easily, and I have mast cell activation syndrome. I just have a lot of other co-conditions, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, lots of conditions, and lots of health problems. And so being disabled, having health issues is a big part of it. And so I've always been the type to declutter, and I would, every month I was decluttering stuff. I love to organize. I love to keep a clean and tidy space. I mean, I've been considered a little bit OCD, although I haven't been officially diagnosed, so I don't like throwing that term out there. I've also deal with depression and anxiety and PTSD and all these things. So I've always moved around a lot. And in 2016, I moved in with my mom for a while and got into a stable and steady living situation. And there's just a lot of life and history that I will not be putting on YouTube, but let's just say there's points in my life where I've been homeless, and it's just been a lot of craziness. So in 2016, I basically, all I brought down to live with her was a suitcase of some clothes and some personal items, and because all my stuff had been in storage for 3.5 years, and that's a whole story that it's just a difficult situation, and I'm not gonna be going into that. So one of my ways that I heal from these situations is that I keep it private. It's not something that needs to be. Okay, I'm getting off track. I'm really well healed, but there are times where I'm easily triggered, and I've been dealing with that recently. So for this video, we're just not going to talk about all that went on during that time. Okay, so back what I was talking about. So I moved in with my mom, and I was living with her in 2016, I had been living with her for like 6 months, and we were able to, over 2 days' time, get everything I owned that had been in storage for 3.5 years out of storage. And if you combined, so I had like a queen size bed, I had like some other furniture, and I had about 80 boxes and bags worth of stuff total. And so we were able to like grab like half of the stuff one day, and we grabbed half of the other stuff the other day. But what we did is we grabbed everything, and we had help, grabbed everything, brought it into the little space we were living in, and just the one load basically took up the entire living room of the place we were in. I mean, there was barely any space to walk around all of my stuff. And so, since she's a natural declutterer and has always kind of lived on the more minimal side, and because I've decluttered and stuff as a regular thing, but never like really lived minimally, we basically spent like, I think 2 hours on the first day after we brought the stuff back, and I just sat down and went through everything one by one and decided what I was going to keep, decided what I was going to get rid of. And by the end of the first day, we probably had about maybe 5 boxes worth of stuff. And then we did the same the second day when we grabbed the rest of my stuff. So I kept my bed, so I had a nice bed to sleep in. I think I got rid of the other furniture, and then on the second day, by the time we went through it, I had about 5 boxes worth of stuff left. And the other thing we did that each day was we loaded up everything I was getting rid of and took it to a local donation center in the town we were living in at the time. And not Goodwill, like a local donation center. So I usually take my stuff to Goodwill, just because it's more convenient. But if there are other ways I can donate things, if I have help, then I absolutely will. So August of 2016 was when I went minimal. It was really super simple. I could keep everything I owned in my room, and it was fantastic. So that was really, really great. And then in 2017, after being minimal for a year and watching the minimalists and watching other people who were minimal after I went minimal, I'm like, this works for me, and it's so great to see other people who it works for too. And I don't ever want to go back to having a ton of stuff. It's too much. It was too crazy. I knew at that time my body was it was getting worse, and I needed to keep things as manageable as possible for me and the people helping me. So in 2017, I decided I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to talk about chronic health issues and talk about how to manage things when you have chronic health issues. I wanted to talk about minimalism and how it helped me and how you don't have to be minimal, but just tips on decluttering and how I live minimal and how my minimalism journey has looked like and all those things. And so now it has been 5 years on YouTube and 6 years of minimalism, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love it. And also, I, and back when I first started my channel, I think I used my name as my channel name, and then I'm like, oh, I don't feel comfortable having my full name on YouTube, and so I switched it to Minimalzebra. And I switched it to Minimalzebra because I live minimally, and I kind of had a more focus of what I want to talk about on my channel, and the zebra because when doctors are taught, with you normally think horse when you hear hoofbeats, you normally think horses, and that's all the standard conditions that are really well known. And sometimes it's not horses. Sometimes it's a zebra, and that goes for the rare conditions. So I have a list here of 5 things I've learned being on in my 5 years of YouTube, and 6 things I've learned from and as being a minimalist. So I want to go through this list and kind of talk about each thing with you. But first, I have a story. Another story. So recently, if you watch my channel and you know that my roommate and we are moving, and so the packing process has started, the cleaning process has started, and it's just a lot. And my videos each week, I will explain how I manage it and how I do that. But recently we were running the dishwasher, and we have 6 tall glasses that are plastic and 5 short glasses that are glass to drink out of. Well, 4 of the glasses, short glasses, were given to us, and then the one short glass, the 5th one that didn't match, was the one that I had when I lived in my own little studio for a while and got my independence back after being dependent on people for a very long time. And so that glass, I had 2 of them, were the glasses I had in my little studio when I got my other dishes. And I'm not really super sentimental about my items, but it was a while back that one of the glasses broke. So we used to have 6 short glasses. One of the glasses broke, and then this other one that mismatched. The other 4 just, it was, I don't know, it was the glass decided it didn't want to move again, and it broke in the dishwasher. I don't know how it broke, but it broke in the dishwasher. The dishwasher is fine, so I didn't have to report that to the people we were renting from. But that glass broke, and I showed my roommate, and he's like, we need to throw this away. I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, I know we need to. But, I didn't get choked up, or I didn't feel like I was starting to cry. But I got really emotional over that glass. Because when you have health conditions that are crippling, that are disabling, that make life difficult, when you have your moments of independence, and when you have times in your life where you're able to be independent again, when you're able to live on your own for a while, being able to get the things you need for that and have those things is a really big deal. And so if one day I might do a story and go more in depth on that for me. If you want, I'll think about it. But yeah. So just know that even after 6 years of minimalism, there are, it's okay to get sentimental about things. It's okay to feel a bit upset about something. I'm over it now, but it was tough. Okay, so let's go into this list. So one of the things I've learned from being minimal is that as life changes, as your taste changes, what you need and want changes. And so there'll be times in your life where you'll have more. There'll be times in your life where you'll have less. And that is absolutely okay. It's about keeping what you love and what you need. And what that is for you is going to be different for somebody else. Like for me and my roommate, we own quite a few DVDs. And from some people's standpoint, that would be ridiculous and they would want to do all streaming. But for us, we still like having DVDs. We still like having a DVD player, and that works for us. And and just know that you can be minimal, and the person you're living with doesn't have to be. Just because you are doesn't mean everybody has to be. So I guess that's another point. I think I just added a bonus one. Okay, moving on. The other thing is that minimalism and being intentional really does go into every other part of your life. When I went minimal, and I'm like, well, this part of my life feels better, so I want other parts of my life to feel better. So I'm like, I started eating healthier. I started listening to my body and what it needed. And, I started spending less time on social media, which once I got my YouTube channel, that hasn't changed. I still limit my time on social media. I'm just very intentional and more, I started saying no more to things, instead of just agreeing to yes to everything. I was saying no more to things. And once again, doing things that made me happy and picking and choosing what that was. And that also comes with listening to your body and chronic health, is that, if you don't have the stamina, if you're not feeling well, it's okay to say no. It's okay not to do something. Like, there's weeks or a week, I don't always put out a YouTube video. It hasn't been every week. And that's okay with me. Okay. And the other thing about what I've learned is you don't need to have a minimalist aesthetic. I know right now that's like plants and like wood furniture and white walls and all these things. And whatever the minimalist aesthetic is, whatever it is, however it changes, do what aesthetic you love. So if you want to have books out, if you want to have DVDs out, if you want to have a couple knickknacks out, if you want to have, color or, bulky furniture that doesn't look minimal, or whatever those things are, if it's functional for you, if it works for you, if you love it, then you can have whatever aesthetic you want. I have changed my decor aesthetic. I love, as Ashley from the Vacuum Doers Part says, I get the itch to switch. So usually I'll own some, usually when it comes to like blankets or furniture or whatever, and life situations and decor and all of that stuff, there are some things where I will keep for years and years because no matter my desire to change things, I still absolutely love it. It's an absolute yes, keeping absolutely. And then there are some things where I get it and I have it for a few years and I feel the urge to change things up. And so I will sell it or donate it or give it to somebody, and then I will get something else. One thing I've found that curbs that is that when I have a place where it's different temperatures during the year, I have like a lightweight blanket I will put on when it's hot, or lightweight quilts or whatever when it's hot, and then I will do heavy, a comforter or blanket on my bed in the winter when it's cold. So just know, if you get the itch to switch, if you get the itch to change things up, if you go between wanting things to be neutral or wanting things to be colorful, you can be minimal, you can be intentional, and still do those things. And the other thing is that I know minimalism can be a trend. It can be really popular. It can, like any other trend, it can come and go. But, and if your life changes, and your life changes in such a way that you're no longer minimal anymore, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're being trendy. It just means your life has changed and you're no longer minimal. Now, for me, I don't see minimalism ever going away. It is a lifestyle for me. It is the way I want to live. And how much I own may fluctuate and vary depending on my life circumstances. And with health issues, that definitely changes because what I need to manage my health can change. So sometimes in that area, I sometimes have more and sometimes I have less. So yes, if minimalism is right for you, it is not a trend because you do it and you stick with it. You can call it minimalism, you can call it simple living, you can call it intentionality, whatever it is for you. If it's the right thing for you, then it doesn't go away. It is a lifestyle and it is not a trend. And whether you live minimally or not, decluttering and only keeping what you love and need is always a good idea. And you can keep what you love and need and not be minimal. Just know that. Okay, the other thing that is having quality over quantity. I know this is talked a lot about in minimalism, but and that doesn't mean spending a lot of money, because even really expensive things can break and not be good or whatever, and not be good quality. So having it be expensive doesn't mean good quality. But having good quality things means they last longer. It means you can have less because you're not needing multiples to make whatever it is work. So, like recently, I got a really good quality non-stick pan, and because I'm in the phase of life right now that cooking with stainless steel and cleaning stainless steel is just too much work for me and the people around me. So there are some meals, some ways to cook that having a non-stick pan is just better. And same with using like the silicone utensils to cook with on the non-stick pan to make it last longer. But having good quality things that lasts means you may be spending a little bit more up front, unless you can find these good quality things at like a thrift store or something, or secondhand. It means you may be spending a little bit more up front, but you're saving money in the long run. And that is one thing I kind of got lost on me before I went minimal, because I thought I couldn't afford nice things, but in reality, it was if you save for it and you budget for it, or if you get like one or two nice things instead of a set of 8 things that aren't so nice, they just last longer. Now, I have nothing wrong against having cheap stuff. I was raised on thrift stores and secondhand. When I first started out as a young adult, a lot of my stuff was from the Dollar Tree and secondhand. So just know that there's nothing wrong with that. You can be minimal and have your stuff be, whatever you can afford, whatever you can get, whatever you already have. Don't think you need to upgrade just because you're minimal. And the other thing is that it's okay to decorate for seasons and holidays. Like for me, I have a few items that are good for decorating for Halloween. I used to only have like 2 Christmas items, and since my roommate and I have moved in together, we now have a plastic bin with a fake already lit Christmas tree and a few other Christmas items. So I'm not really big, for me personally, I'm not really big on decorating for all the holidays, But I do like to decorate for Christmas and Halloween. So if you like to decorate for the holidays, if you like to decorate for the seasons, that's okay. Just don't go. I mean, you don't have to be minimal in that area. I mean, just because you live minimally, you don't necessarily have to live minimally in every part of your life. But I would suggest being intentional. You know, being really honest and brutal with yourself about, you know, what can I manage, and if I was to have more, do I have the help to to manage it, and you know, and just maybe only having like 1 or 2 boxes for each holiday, and 1 or 2 boxes for like winter, and then 1 or 2 boxes for spring, and then 1 or 2 boxes for summer, and then 1 or 2 boxes for fall. I mean, even that's a lot to me. But I'm saying, if you don't want to be crazy minimal, or if you think that's crazy minimal, just do what you want as far as holiday decor goes. There's nothing wrong with having it. You can decorate and be festive and still be minimal. Okay, this video is really long. I get super chatty, so I normally try to keep my videos short, but I do get super chatty. So, I apologize if you're struggling. Just know with my videos, if it's too long for you, if you don't have time to finish it, just split it up. Watch it into parts. That's what I do with videos. If I don't have the time, or if I'm super out of it, or it feels long, then I just watch it in pieces, in sections. And just know that if you need to do that with this, that's okay. So 5 things I learned doing YouTube. That you don't need expensive lights and equipment to make a good video. I film on my camera. I don't really edit. I mean, if you see one of my most recent thumbnails from one of my videos, I did add a tiny logo to the picture. But other than that, I do not edit my videos. They're not, well, except for this, they're not scripted. For this I have notes, but they're not scripted, not edited. I don't do special lighting. I just work with whatever light is in the space I'm in, and I call it good. So, and they say sticking to certain types of videos helps, and I have found that to be true. So that's why, I being raw and real and honest and talking what I wanted to talk about, but I basically stick to minimalism and chronic health. Those are my 2 topics. And I have, consistent subscribers and consistent viewers because of it. Because you guys can relate. And the other thing is that I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And there are times when I'm filming and my perfectionist side is like, you should not upload this to YouTube. It's not great, but some of those videos that I upload anyway are you guys' favorites. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So you do not need to be perfect when doing YouTube. Another thing I've learned is that you do not need to be positive all the time. There are times where I'm not smiley, where I'm not upbeat, where, you know, I don't look very awake, where I'm really out of it, where I've got brain fog, where I can't think straight. And, you know, I enjoy showing that. I find it, and you guys find it, you love it when I keep it real like that. It's great. So just know you don't need to be positive all the time. It's okay to show other emotions. The fifth thing I've learned on YouTube, and the fifth and final thing, is that true friends, like true viewers, don't care if you're put together and you can roll out of bed and do nothing yourself and go back to bed. So there have been times with my YouTube channel where my stamina's been bad and I'm not sure if I'm going to get out a video on Tuesdays on time or get out a video that week, and it's the morning and I'm laying in bed and I'm like, okay, I've got like an hour or two before our videos are supposed to go up. I'm like, okay, well, I really want to do it this week. And I have a little bit of stamina, so I'll roll out of bed, put the camera on my phone, take a picture, record for however long it is, not get dressed, not shower, nothing. No, I don't wear makeup, so that's not a thing. I basically just roll out of bed, quickly film, and then go back to bed. So those are my 6 things I've learned from 6 years of minimalism, and my 5 things I've learned from my 5 years on YouTube. I want to thank you all so much for your continued support. According to the YouTube algorithm, about half that watch are subscribed and about half that watch aren't. But even if you're not subscribed and you're still watching, I want to thank you so much. And I want to thank the people who do subscribe. My channel has grown like crazy. When I started my channel, I would get maybe 5 views for a video. And I had one loyal person commenting, and they still comment on my videos, and I love it. And now I've got between 30 and 60 views on my average, and I've got quite a few comments in my comment section, and people having conversations in the comment section, and I'm getting followers on Instagram. And this year, back in May, I hit 50 subscribers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Because after, 5 years, by that time it was almost 5 years on YouTube, hitting 50 subscribers was a big deal for me. Because I just do this as a hobby, And now I'm at 83 subscribers, and I am so completely excited and overwhelmed at the support. And I would love to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. But like I said, this is a hobby. I'm not going to pressure anybody. And I'm just grateful that after 5 years of doing this, I still have all the support and love from the YouTube community. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. I'm going to end it here. And I will see you Tuesday for either another tiny tidy or sit down and chat. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this. And I'll see you Tuesday. Bye. Oh, and like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. And if you enjoy this. Now, this is really long. So, I would recommend going back and watching my shorter videos.